This is for the free thinkers, the curious beings that swim upstream, who see possibilities, not problems, that learn from the past, live by the present, and create the future. This is the I Love Ugly audio show.
Welcome to the I Love Ugly audio show. My name's Valentin, Ozich, creative director and founder of I Love Ugly. In this episode, I sit down with Auckland-based filmmaker Fraser Grut. For those that are unfamiliar with Fraser, he runs a movement called 10,000 Dreams, where every single day for 10,000 days, which is around 27 years, he films a different person answering the question, what's your dream? He began this project in 2016, and he's going to finish it in 2044 at the age of 50 years old. His goal is to build a culture around dreams that inspire people to pursue their own. Fraser's life mission is one of the most ambitious and inspiring projects I've come across in a long time. In this episode, I go deep into the backstory about why he started this project, how he's managed to film the dreams of high-profile celebrities like Mark Cuban and Hadfield, plus many more. And lastly, the importance of why everyone needs to dream big and they also need to pursue it. This episode is sure to inspire your new year, ambitious ways, and it will get you off that couch and make you not be afraid to chase your own. Enjoy. Fraser, man, thanks for coming in.
G'day, man.
Yeah, so what have you been up to besides, because just to kind of give people a bit of context, you've set yourself on this mission, 10,000 people. You want to find out the dreams of 10,000 people across the next 10,000 days.
Yeah, bro.
It's pretty manic. So that obviously everyone knows what 10,000. They think they know how much 10,000 is, but how many days is that?
So,
and how many years is that?
27 and a half years.
27 and a half years.
Yeah, so I started December the 8th, 2016, 22.
Yeah.
My last day doing this is April 25th, 2044, and
Wow.
I'll be 50.
So what? 50 years old. How old are you now? So people know.
25.
So what made you get into this, man? Because this seems like not a small goal, and you're almost too far in it now to stop.
I'm way too far in to stop.
It'd be embarrassing.
Yeah, there was a point around 1 year where I could have stopped, and I don't think people would have cared.
Yeah.
Can't now. I'm on day 1,106. So.
Yeah.
But essentially it started as a bet with a mate at Deco.
Yeah.
We're just having a drink and he was heading off to the States for 6 months to live.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, every day in America you should ask someone what their favorite ice cream flavor is.
Yeah.
And we kind of realized that was kind of lame.
Yeah.
And so we're like, what about asking someone what their why is?
Yeah.
But around that time Rebel Sport was doing their What's Your Why campaign, so we couldn't do that. And then just came out, I was like, what about asking someone what their dream is every day?
Yeah.
And that's when I kind of clicked and I was like, actually, no, you don't do that. I'm going to do that. And we did a bet and I said I'd do it for 1 year and essentially stumbled into my life purpose, man.
Wow.
On day 258, I wanted to get Jacinda Ardern's dream, but I only had one.
So Jacinda Ardern, for those, because we get a lot of international listeners. So
who's
is
Prime
she?
Minister of New Zealand now.
Yeah.
This was just before she became Prime Minister.
Yeah.
And I wanted her desperately.
Why'd you want her?
I don't know. I had a feeling, I think this is when people were starting to think she will probably be Prime Minister, and I don't know. I just thought she was awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, fair
So
enough.
I reached out to her team and I only had 100 days left of my 1 year goal. And I just knew they'd say no because having 100 days left, it wasn't a strong sell.
Yeah.
And so I just put in the email, I just completely said, I'm doing it for 10,000 days and just put a stupid number out there.
Yeah, so you just said that on the email.
Oh, I just was hustling her completely.
Yeah.
I was like, screw it, let's see if she comes back and says yes. And they came back and said yes.
Wow.
And so that day I changed it to 10,000 Dreams.
Yeah.
Didn't tell anyone in my life.
Yeah.
Just changed it on Instagram and everyone was like, what the heck, dude?
Crazy.
And I didn't know how long that was. You know,
Yeah.
I was like, oh, what, 10,000 days? It's probably like 3-4 years or something.
Yeah.
No.
That's actually what I thought when you first told me when I read about it. So so basically you wanted to reach out to Jacinda, the Prime Minister in New Zealand.
Yeah, man.
Your first thought was she's not going to do it.
No.
And then she did it. What did that whole experience teach you?
Oof.
Because you almost preempted that she's not going to do it. So
Yeah, man, like it's weird, eh? Like I'm in a situation now where I'm getting a lot more yeses from people, especially celebrities.
Yeah.
But at that point, like the first 2 years, I was so used to rejection that it was almost shocking when someone came back saying yes. You know, so I was just always, and it wasn't a negative mindset. It was more kind of being realistic in a way and going, well, okay, well, what can I do then to change that? You know, like when approaching, like I've done Jane Goodall and all that, you know, you kind of go in going, the chances are so small that you'll actually get them saying yes.
Yeah.
So you kind of come in with a strategy, or, you know, try to do a clever hustle or something. But that was, I think to me that was quite a turning point.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the moment I turned it into a life mission instead of a 1-year mission. And from that point onwards, I started to take it way more seriously. Like the first 200 days, it was such a burden, man.
Yeah,
like
I can imagine.
I hated it.
I can imagine.
I was like, why am I doing this? It was like being on a diet or something. And once I changed it, I was like, well, you're doing this for the rest of your life, essentially. You either have a horrible time doing it, or you embrace it and make an incredible adventure of your life.
Wow.
So from that day onwards, I decided to take it seriously, and that's why all these doors have opened since, man.
So obviously you're going to interview 10,000 people about their dreams. What's your dream? What's your overarching dream? And also, sorry, before you answer that, just for this conversation, we were talking about it before, I wanted to do the style a little bit differently. I haven't prepared any show notes. I only just found out about you. So this this whole conversation is going to be organic, flowing. I think, like, I'll ask you questions, you ask me questions. Let's just have a cool conversation, because when I found out what you're doing, I found it highly admirable. Because the thing is like, there's a whole 10,000 hours rule, but you can cram in 10,000 hours in a year, or I don't know if you can, but the math, but in a few years if you go hard. But 10,000 days, it's like you've got no choice but to wait out the 24-hour days. So that's a big commitment, man. And for that I applaud you.
Thank you.
Yeah, man, so let's keep this conversation flowing, lots of things, because you got an interesting story as well, which I think really resonated with me, because I could see a lot of my story within yours as well. But so just going back, man, to the question, so what's your overarching goal? 10,000 dreams, 10,000, like why do you want to do this?
Yeah, man. Well, so I guess going back to my dream, bro, it's changed completely since I started this project. Ever since I was 7, my dream was to be the greatest filmmaker of all time, to win an Oscar at 23. So my first day of film school at 16, my whole class of 80 people was sitting around in a circle, and the teacher literally said, go around, say what your dream in life is with film. And everyone was like, oh, I'm not sure, maybe I'll do a TV show one day. And I was like, I just went up and I said, I'm going to win an Oscar at 23. And they all laughed at me. But that was my dream. I knew I was going to do it. So I graduated at 19 and basically grabbed the class, and we made a feature film. I directed a feature film called Sirenia, which took us 1.5 years to make. Raised 100 grand from donations from family and friends. Came out cinemas in 2015, and I was like, this is it. I'm going to do it. This film's going to be the thing that's going to get me an Oscar. And then the film just crashed and burned, basically. Didn't open up any doors. It just shut. And I went into a space where I quit film for 6 months. And I was just like...
So did that just shock you, shock the system?
I felt like such a failure.
So was that the first time in your life where you'd experienced failure on that scale?
100%, man.
Interesting.
Up to that point, man, I've had an amazing family my whole life. My life was pretty easy growing up. That was the first time I realized how tough it is to chase a dream. So I quit for 6 months.
Especially a big dream like that.
Oh, yeah, man. And I was so open about it as well. I told everyone I met.
And confident.
And I just was so humiliated. And that kind of led into a period of a year where I kind of mentors and that picked me up again, and I got back into film. And that was kind of around the time I started 10,000 Dreams. And so obviously my dreams were very self-centered at that point. But 3 years of this project, man, my dreams completely changed. It's now about helping others live their dreams. Obviously, I still have huge ambitions, but nothing brings me more satisfaction than watching someone else live their dream, or me helping someone discover their dream. And that's something I never would have said 4 years ago, you know? If you had said 5 years ago, oh, you won't have an Oscar at 25, I would have thought I'd be an absolute failure. And
sure.
I'm like, what I've got now with 10,000 to me is far better than an Oscar.
Interesting.
But my dream with 10,000 Dreams, bro, it's weird. I was saying to someone a year ago, I was looking at the moon at night and I was just staring at it for ages, and they came out and they're like, yo, what are you doing? And I said, I want to film 1 billion dreams. And then obviously they laughed and said, that's impossible. And then I kind of did the maths on it. And I think it's something like, well, let's say 100 million dreams. It's 10,000 people doing what I'm doing over 10,000 days. So my big dream is, once I get to the end of this, is to find 10,000 other filmmakers and build a movement around it, And by the age of 77, we could have 100 million dreams.
Wow.
And then leading it into something that carries on after I die, to film 1 billion dreams and to just keep going.
Yeah. So what do you think is so inspiring to hear about somebody else's dream? Like, why do you think people become so inspired by it?
Well, I think like when I'm at parties or something and you have conversation, you have small talk with people and you always go, so what do you do? And they talk about the job they do and it's the same conversation with everyone. But once you ask someone at a party, and I've noticed recently, you go, well, what's your dream? Instantly they light up. Yeah. And they start talking about their passions and what they really want to do. And it changes the whole dynamic in the conversation. And I don't know, man, I think I've just realized that the question, what's your dream? It actually is quite a powerful one because...
Yeah, and it's so broad. It's actually quite... It's quite hard, but if you just, like your style where it's like one take, don't think about it, it still comes out. Everybody's got it in them, and even if they don't think they do.
Yeah. And anyone can answer it. Yeah. You know, you can have conversations with 90-year-olds or 3-year-olds. It really is a universal question.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's also interesting the different stages of your life, how your dreams change as well. As you said before, your dream was just almost about you, about winning an Oscar for you. And then after you hit that got struck with that adversity and your dreams were shattered and you're embarrassed because you let your dream out there. Once you bounce back from that, your dream changed. It was almost about other people. Yeah, man. Right? And it's almost like that's what life should be about. Once you kind of almost hit your personal goals or whatever, it should be about, okay, how can I be of service to as many people as I can? Yeah. And I think, I can't remember, maybe Jesus said it or something. He said something like that, you know, if you want to be impactful or make a huge movement, you got to figure out how to be of service to as many people as you can. And all the successful people that we admire and that you film, you know, all the celebrities and superstars or whatever, that's probably why they are successful. It's because they figure out ways how to offer as much value, whether it be Steven Spielberg with his films, who I know you're also is one of your bucket lists, or which is it's also fascinating as well. So why like you struck me, I'm just kind of getting to know you now, but you struck me as a hungry, ambitious young man, 25 years old. You've got the balls to say stuff how you think it. I was the same. I used to be like, I'm going to be a millionaire by the time I'm 28, you know? And then people were like, who's this wanker, you know, just chopping me down. But the thing is like, I think there's something so pure about that as well. The fact that you've almost got no idea about reality and life or whatever, and to actually go out there and tell people how it is it's a form of courage. So where does your courage and where's your drive and ambition come from?
My parents, man.
Yeah. So who are your parents? Tell us about them. What do they do and why do they?
My dad, Gary, was a professional golfer.
Yeah.
Now he's a youth pastor.
Yeah.
Senior pastor.
Yeah.
My mum runs a travel business.
Yeah.
So my entire life I was brought up in a family that told me I could dream.
Yeah. And do you have siblings as well?
Yeah, I got 3 brothers.
Yeah.
Man.
Cool.
My older brother works with me. He's my editor. Cool. My younger brother, he does writing stuff with me.
Yeah.
And my younger brother is a teacher.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, man. But
so similar size amount of boys in my family too. We got 5 boys.
5 boys.
Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
It makes you kind of hard, right?
Yeah, bro.
Like no.
I love that, man.
Yeah. Sorry to interrupt, but
no.
Yeah.
Where was I going with that?
Yeah. So your brothers,
my
family.
parents, man, they fully just. Like my dad always joked around that he said if I came to him and said I want to be an accountant or something, he would have gone, no, you're going to go chase your dream. You know, it's like the reverse to what a lot of families are, you know. So there have been so many times where I've screwed up, where I've nearly gone bankrupt, where I've, you know, and my parents have picked me up.
Wow. So picked you up in what sense? Like
dude, financially, letting me stay at their house when I, you know, couldn't afford my rent anymore, all that stuff, man. I could not be here without my parents. Yeah. And I was having a drink with a mentor yesterday, and he asked me, why do you think you get to live your dream? And I thought about it, and my answer was because of people around me. And I'm like, that's literally like I'm ambitious and I work hard, but it is the people around me. If I didn't have that support around me, I probably wouldn't be doing what I'm doing at all, you know?
Totally, man. Well, you're a product of your environment.
Yeah.
Your peer groups, your parents.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So that's kind of what, with 10,000 Dreams, what I'm wanting to do, man, because I kind of grew up thinking, because of how I was raised, why don't people chase their dream? I was so baffled by it when we left school and everyone was like, I'm just going to go get it, you know?
Yeah.
I was so shocked.
Yeah.
And only recently have I realized, actually not everyone had the opportunity I did to have a family like I did.
For sure, man.
Or teachers that believed in me. And so if my project can be that voice to someone to say, hey, I actually care about what your dream is and I believe you can do it. That's what I want for this, man. Like I could be that teacher that people didn't have, you know?
Yeah.
So only recently have I started to discover that and I've become more empathetic. Whereas I was very aggressive with my approach years ago when I was like, dude, why aren't you doing it?
Because once again, you think your world is the world, but it's
absolutely,
not.
Man.
Yeah.
And it took it quite a few knocks to get to that point, you know? Realizing that life, it is tough chasing a dream.
Oh, absolutely, man. And it's probably like at the same time, I probably wouldn't even recommend for everybody just to go balls deep into chasing your dream.
Yeah.
I think it should also be something incremental, because at the same time, some people have a responsibility of feeding their kids and a mortgage to pay and this, and to actually just ignore your obligations as a parent or whatever, or a provider, to go chase your dreams at the same time. Like there's a certain responsibility. So different, for different people, timings, there's also timings as well, which is a huge factor.
Yeah.
And it's also trying to figure out how you can weave your dream into your current lifestyle. But at the same time, it does come a point, I believe, where it's like, okay, you come to a crossroads in life. It's like, okay, I can carry on continuing to do this job, what I hate, or I can actually pursue this dream, what I'm kind of dabbling with quarter time or a couple hours a week, which actually brings me more fulfillment, even though I'll probably take a step backwards financially. And I think it's real important that once people do hit those crossroads, that they make that decision, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, okay, I'm going to go for this, and but do it responsibly. So it's like have a reserve of cash for the next 6 months, or you work part time or whatever. Yeah. Have you seen anybody? Have you kind of encountered anybody that's pursued their dreams almost too prematurely?
Ooh, oh man, I've never thought about that before.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Like, I guess I'm just such an optimistic person that if I see someone chase their dream, I always get so excited, and I'm like, yeah. I think there's a lot of people when you leave school that kind of, they're all 18 and they kind of instantly have that mindset of, oh, now I've got to go get the full-time job, I've got to go get the mortgage, I've got to get,
Yeah.
But that's the opportunity, I think, when you're just out of school.
For sure.
You got nothing like holding you back,
nothing to lose, man. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm just shocked why so many young people don't realize that, and they kind of wait, and then they become 30, and then they're like, oh my gosh, I haven't chased my, and then they go.
Or even on the other hand, you get people that do pursue their dreams, and then they get hit with something how like you did, or how I did, and then they're like, holy shit, where did that come from? And they quit. At the same, which is, in my opinion, it's also not like, that baffles me as well. It's like, what do you expect to happen to get to the top of a mountain without any scratches or bruises?
Absolutely, man.
Yeah.
What was the point with I Love Ugly where you realized, oh, this is working, I can make this my full-time now?
Well, the thing is, for me, is my story was like, I was working for somebody else and I was doing I Love Ugly, say, quarter time. And then I got to that point where it's like, this thing has legs, when I got a few big wholesale orders. And I was like, what I said before, I was at that crossroads, and it's like, okay, I've got $20,000, I can go work for somebody, continue working for someone, get a mortgage, go down the conventional route, or take the leap, open up a shop. I decided to open up a shop. And then we had a daughter, me and my wife, premature daughter. We had 3 weeks to prepare to be parents, and I was 22 years old, she was 19. And then I was like, I had no choice. I was like, okay, I've chosen this path. I got to make it work, and I'm going to work my ass off. I knew I had some talents and some skills. I also knew I had shortfalls, but like you, I had a mother that was cheering me on, saying, you're gifted, son, you should do this, son, and other people that were reaffirming what I was doing was the right thing to do. And I just went for it, man. And then obviously it's been a bit of a roller coaster, but I think that I think pretty quickly in the first couple of years whether what you're doing it's viable, and then you got to basically throw into the mix perseverance, upskilling yourself, finding new peer groups to help upskill yourself, figuring out what your shortfalls are, making whatever your shortfalls are, making sure that you get okay at them so they don't hinder your progress too much. So there's a whole combination of different things, but I basically decided pretty quickly, it's like, this is my path, this is my journey. Yeah. And I had this dream as well. I didn't really have it on paper, but I was like, I just imagined it's what kept me going to 2, 3 o'clock in the morning when I was drawing, after I'd be working in a warehouse picking T-shirts all day. And I had a daughter that had to bath and I got home till 3 o'clock in the morning. I was like, I just had this dream about people globally wearing my product and creating this like, you know, global brand. And that's kind of what, and then I didn't get caught up in the how I'm going to do it. I just basically had the dream. It's like, that's my goal and I'm going to get there by any means necessary. And so that's kind of what, that was at that point. So it wasn't exactly one point. It was like a period of time. And when you've got a child in the mix as well, it puts fuel under your ass as well. And now I've got 3 kids and it's just like, the pressure is even more intense. So yeah. But you don't have kids, do you?
No,
no.
No.
Yeah, I know I asked you that before, but just for the
no, I don't, man.
For the crowd.
So
no, it's good. And then yeah, man. So it's like, yeah, that's pretty awesome. So obviously we're not here just to talk about dreams. I want to kind of like have a general conversation with you. I read on your Instagram profile yesterday you had a pretty tough year. Was it last year or this year?
This year, man.
So you suffered, like you had a bit of a bad alcohol problem. You were like partying pretty hard. You were pretty lost.
Yeah,
like,
bro.
What was the reason for that, and how'd you get through it?
Yeah, so the start of the year in February, so I run a film company as well at the same time.
Nice.
Almost went bankrupt in February.
Yeah.
And
how come it nearly went bankrupt?
My own fault.
Yeah.
I was putting so much into 10,000 that I kind of kept dropping the ball with clients and not putting enough effort in.
Yeah.
Kind of stopped hustling with the film company.
For sure.
And kind of it caught up to me.
So got complacent.
Yeah, and then I had a meeting with my accountant and he was just like, yeah, this is bad, man.
Yeah.
And he gave me a number. He said, you basically need this amount in like a few days. Or
Did you have like, what, tax creditors to pay?
Yeah, it was all the stuff I just didn't think about.
Yeah.
And so literally all I could do was pray, man. Literally with my parents, it was just very low.
Yeah.
And within like 2 days, triple that number came in from clients reaching out to me. And that was a bit of a miracle. And I thought I learnt my lesson. Yeah. And then 5 months later, in the middle of the year, something quite significant happened in my life when I came back from America from a filming trip. Yeah. That put me into a very bad spot for 2 months.
What was that, if you don't mind me asking?
So it was just a relationship ending. But it was quite a significant one. And essentially, I came back and then that happened and then my motivation just vanished. Yeah. And obviously then the business crumbled again and I got into the same situation, but this time I didn't have the motivation to get out of it. Yeah, wow. And so I kind of got involved with the whole party lifestyle and I didn't drink alcohol for like 7 years.
So you're just suppressing the reality?
Just, 7 years didn't touch it and then suddenly just went down that rabbit hole and just stopped being proud of who I was, man. Yeah. I was still filming a dream every day. Yeah. And you still had people coming up to you all the time, go, dude, what are you doing? So inspiring. You're so inspiring. Yeah. But I wasn't inspiring myself. Yeah. And it took probably 2 months. And I remember I went to my dad in the kitchen one day and I just broke down. I said, I don't know why I wake up anymore. Yeah. And this coming from a person that's always jumping out of bed. I wake up at 4:30 a.m. every morning. I jump out of bed. Yeah. And I just completely lost that spark. Wow. And slowly, for a lot of prayer, a lot of just time to process what happened in my life. Yeah. Slowly started to rebuild and.
Yeah. So how did you do that? Like how did you rebuild yourself?
Man.
Just small changes every day?
It was, I remember my dad took me to a cafe and he said, like the normal stress level for a person's like this. What you're going through right now with significant things in your life, suddenly your stress has gone up here.
For sure.
And you're trying to still go 10, 12, 13 hours a day. Yeah. And he said, you can't do that, you'll burn. So he said, you now need to go down here just for a period. Yeah. You know, maybe and this was for like a month. It was like maybe one meeting a day and that's it. You just focus on that and then you know, maybe one project or one filming a day, like just baby steps. And that sucked because I'm someone that hates doing nothing like that. But I had to. I kind of, for a month, I just took it so slow.
Slow down,
Felt slow, lazy, man. Yeah. But I just needed to just process and be with people.
Did you stop drinking at this time as well?
No, not really at that point. That was probably only a month ago that I kind of said, I had one night and I was just like, nah, screw this.
Yeah.
I can't even look at myself in the mirror.
Yeah.
So I just said, I'm not going to do it anymore.
Makes you feel horrible, right?
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
And I'm sure, look, I'll stumble again, but at least it's weird being honest about it publicly.
Yeah, man.
Has actually helped so much because now I feel accountable.
Absolutely.
And it's so weird. I have lots of people now because for 3 years, a week ago, I did a real honest post about what happened this year.
Yeah.
And I've had so many people come up to me since going like, are you all right, man?
Yeah.
And I'm like, why is everyone being so suddenly being so nice in that way? I was like, what? And I'm like, oh, I see.
Yeah.
Okay, I opened up pretty.
Definitely.
So now I'm like, okay, now people can kind of keep you accountable. And
for sure. And at the same time as well, it's so important to portray the realities of what actually goes on behind Instagram. Because a lot of people probably look at you, or maybe even look at me, and they're like, man, that guy's lucky, that guy's life's perfect, that guy's got his shit together. But actually, behind closed doors,
bro.
You wanted to quit, you broke down, you battled with addiction, you had everything, life threw all its problems at you, and you had to deal with it while keeping your dream alive, keeping yourself together,
Yeah, bro.
And a lot of people, that's why I think it's so refreshing, and that's why I ask these questions to people, my guests, because it just makes people know that at the end of the day, we're all human beings. Yeah, I think it's super refreshing, just, people revealing the realities of actually what goes on. So that's why, I ask these questions, and it's real cool. I think it's great, bro, because that's kind of what made me connect with your story a lot more, because of you showed that.
That's what so many people say. They're like, and it was only like 3 weeks ago that I started being honest. And that just came from one night I was sitting outside and I was just real annoyed that I wasn't really using Instagram in any way apart from posting a dream. So I just was like, screw it, I'm just going to go be brutally honest for a day. And then I got such good reaction that I just kept doing it.
Yeah, man.
And so many people now, like, I connect with this so much more now because I'm following a journey now. And if people are going to be, hopefully they're going to be following me for 24 and a half more years, you kind of got to be real about your life. Otherwise,
Definitely, man. Is there anybody else on a global scale doing something similar to this?
The one thing that people compare it to the most is Humans of New York.
Yeah, that's what,
but I guess that too doesn't quite have a clear deadline.
Yeah.
That's kind of, and it's quite similar, but I think I talked to someone, actually it was Jessica Alba's husband I talked to about it.
Yeah.
And he said this is the longest film project he's ever heard of.
Wow.
And the next longest one was like 20 years or something.
Wow.
That a Harvard thing did or something.
Wow. So it could go in the Guinness Book.
Hopefully, man, by the end of this, it could be, and
nice.
if it's...
So
I just keep going until it hits the Guinness World Record.
So that was a little casual name drop. Jessica
Alba's
that was.
Husband. Sorry about that.
So what's what's going on there, bro?
Man. So, I mean, I've shared, honestly, the last month about crazy miracle stories of how I get celebrities.
Yeah.
And I guess a lot of emails. Yeah. And it's paid off in massive ways.
So tell me about that, bro, because it's like being like your job's almost like you're a salesman essentially. Yeah. You're trying to sell your dream to get other people to talk about their dream. So how do you approach people? What's some tips for our audience about how they want to approach someone, whether it be about a job, a collaboration, about an opportunity? Like, how do you go? Tell me your process.
Yeah, man. So I read this book called The Third Door.
Yeah.
And it talks about how, like a nightclub, you either wait in line with everyone and you wait your turn to get in, or you're VIP, in which case they let you straight in.
Yeah.
But if there's a third door, and the third door is sneaking around the alley, climbing through the window and sneaking in. And essentially I took that approach. So if let's say Jessica Alba, I want to film Jessica Alba's dream. So first thing first, I go to a manager and publicist, agent. That's me waiting in line. Yeah. All of them come back going, no, sorry.
Yeah.
And I expected that as well.
Yeah.
Obviously VIP, I don't know Jessica Alba personally. She's not my auntie or anything. So I don't have the VIP door. So I go, what's the third approach? So I discovered that here's another name drop coming up soon.
go for it, bro.
So I discovered she runs a company with, I think it's called Honest Company or something. Yeah. So I looked into who she started the company with, a guy called Christopher. So I guessed his email. And I said, hey, Christopher, I do a whole spiel. I'd love to film you and Jessica's dream, meaning Jessica Alba. And he comes back to me and goes, hey, amazing, I'd love to do this. My wife Jessica and I would be happy to.
Wow.
And I go, oh, damn, his wife's not Jessica Alba. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, no. He misread the whole thing. So I'm like, okay. So side story, I look into his wife. Turns out his wife's the star of Grey's Anatomy and Steven Spielberg's daughter.
Yeah.
But that's a side note. And Spielberg's like my hero, so that's another crazy story.
Yeah.
But anyway, so okay. So I go, how else do I get Jessica Alba?
Yeah.
So I guess her husband's email.
Yeah.
And that's how I'm doing her well next in LA now, doing her and her husband.
So what do you...
So it's just that third, you just got to think, because
yeah,
so many people go, oh man, I want to film, Justin Bieber or something. And they go, I tried to contact the manager, but he never got back to me.
Yeah.
It's like, you're not going to get in that way.
For sure, man.
Until you're a giant global brand or something, you're not going to get in.
Yeah.
So
Interesting.
like, for instance, for my case with Bieber, he's on my list.
Yeah.
So I filmed his bodyguard in one of his best mates' streams when I was last in LA.
Yeah.
And now I'm doing Scooter Braun stream because of that. Who is his manager?
Yeah.
So you kind of got to be patient and take
Definitely,
like the
man.
slower game with it.
Yeah. Almost like target the outsiders.
Yeah, bro.
Their influences.
That's how I got most of the All Blacks.
Yeah.
Went in through their wives and girlfriends.
Wow.
So you just got to think creatively, and that's the fun part. That's the part that keeps me up at 3 a.m., man.
Wow. That's awesome, man.
There's been so many ridiculous stories that it's almost like a joke now when I tell people. They're just like, like
that's cool,
like
man.
guessing like Jane Goodall's.
It's almost like you should you should have a little like segment or some little avenue where you talk about the hustle. Man, you could write a book. How to get Jessica Alba's email.
Honestly, man. Yeah, like I love that stuff so much.
No, that's cool, man. So just a question for me. It's like, okay, I want to do a collaboration with a company. I've got like a hit list of companies, just like you've got a hit list of people you want to talk to. How would you recommend I approach them? And this will probably be super valuable for everybody else.
Yeah, so with my film company, man, when I first started out, my approach with I want to work with. So I had a goal. I want to do a film with Richie McCaw.
Yeah.
I want to do a commercial with Richie McCaw. So I just reached out to his foundation, iSport, and I just said, I'll do a free film for you. I made them a film.
Yeah.
And then through that, I ended up doing 2 things with Richie McCaw.
Yeah, wow.
So my favorite thing to do, and I know a lot of people aren't willing to do it, it's create say a film company, create a commercial and then give it to them. Don't ask, hey, I'd love to do a film. Just make a commercial, make it incredible and go, hey, this is a gift from me to you. Yeah. And a lot of the time they'll go, oh my gosh. Yeah. And then they will get you to do something else. That's in my case. You just gotta. Yeah, it's just the fun part is finding.
So what would you do? What would you do? Like practical, step by step. It's like, okay, I want to collaborate with, say, North Face. Okay. Yeah. What would you do if you were in my position?
Ooh, so we're talking fashion now.
Yeah, man, we're talking fashion. I'm putting your skills to a test, man. On camera.
Man, in an industry I don't really know.
Well, just the way you put me on the spot yesterday about my dream, one take, don't think about it, 60 seconds.
Ah, dude.
Yeah.
I can't imagine it's that hard for you to get in touch with North Face anymore.
But the thing is like, I'm trying to figure out the third door, man, because I've probably been waiting in line like every other person, and sometimes I get the VIP opportunities, but there's some cases, man, you got to try hard, so you got to try a little bit harder. So what would you do if you or me?
Do you know the founder or CEO?
No, I know they've been acquired by VF Group, we did a collaboration with Jansport, a couple of collaborations. So
yeah, that's right.
They're in that same parent group, so there's a few kind of clues in there. Yeah.
Dude, I would try get the CEO or founder or something to be your mentor. Yeah. That's the fun part. Like and I'm kind of like crazy in that way. Like I'm like, okay, if I want to get in touch with, Spielberg, I'll try to become friends with his daughter. Yeah. You kind of think of crazy things.
For sure, man. And you learnt a lot of this, obviously, from experience, plus that book, The Third Door, was it?
Yeah, bro.
Who's that by?
A guy called Alex. It only came out started this year.
Okay.
So I was doing this stuff before, but when I read his book, it was just like, bam.
And the book's all about this type of thing?
Yeah, he has crazy stories of how he got in touch with Spielberg and Jessica Alba too. Wow. So it really resonated because of specific names and Jane Goodall as well. Yeah. It was actually very similar. He was writing a book and trying to get them to be a part of the book. But it's also like, it's building relationships. So I don't want to seem like I only film people or become friends with people to get in with their relatives or something. It's all about building relationships,
man.
Yeah,
for sure. But at the same time, there's nothing wrong with that. It's like, if you want to be friends with Jessica Alba or Steven Spielberg, what's wrong with that? It's just like you see someone that you meet at say an event and you have them talk or something like that, you're like, man, that's a person I want to get to know. They fascinate me. So what's the difference between that person and,
bro.
you know, I love that, bro.
Yeah, and you work your way back. So like I've become friends with people and I'm like, well, once you build a relationship with this person, they'll introduce you to this person
of course.
that knows a person that knows a person that knows this person.
Yeah.
And it's a long game, but a lot of people aren't willing to play the, you know,
the long
a year of
Absolutely.
building a thing just to get one.
10,000 days.
Yeah, you know, like I've done more than 300 celebrities now, and people are like, man, you just get to film celebrities every day. And I'm like, dude, I got turned down by John Key like 5 times before he finally said yes 2 years after I started trying. Like I'm going, another crazy story of how it happened, but I'm going to Helen Clark's Christmas party tonight. All because I was sitting at a cafe and met Bob Harvey, went to his house, had a morning tea with him, and then he invited me to Helen Clark's Christmas party.
Wow.
But I've been turned down by her and her team 6 times.
Yeah, wow.
And now I'm like, oh man, I was kind of so like, God, I'm like, I've done 5 prime ministers and I haven't done Helen Clark. She's the one I can't get. And I was so annoyed about it. I'm like, what am I doing to not get Helen Clark's dream?
Yeah, wow.
And now I'm like, oh my gosh, like this is so much cooler being able to go to a Christmas party. This wouldn't have happened if I filmed a dream 2 years ago.
Funny, man.
So sometimes it's just waiting, like Julian Dennison, for instance. I tried for years to get his dream. Got turned down by his agent every single time.
Wow.
And 4 months ago, I filmed his dream down in Wellington, went and had a drink with him and his family, hanged out.
Wow.
And now, you know, we chat all the time. Like,
it's amazing, man.
And I'm like, dude, I would way rather this because we actually have a relationship now.
Wow.
But 2 years ago, if I did it, we probably wouldn't have. It would have just been a 2-minute, hey, thanks, bye. So it's just patience, man.
Patience, persistence, and smart strategy.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, so what, do you think these people are attracted to your dream or actually you as a person?
Yeah, so I mean, I guess I can probably answer that a lot more now, but I always thought it was just the dreams that people were interested in.
Yeah.
And only recently have I realized that majority of people, it is the fact of someone doing this for 27 years.
And also the hunger.
Yeah, that people kind of like, you're crazy.
Yeah.
And obviously the dreams are great and they get inspired by that. But I was told by a lot of marketing companies recently, don't share your story. It's just about the dreams. Just make it about the dreams. Get your name off it. Just 10,000 dreams. No one needs to know Fraser exists. And
it's all about you, bro.
I did that for a month. So I changed my Instagram and everything. And I didn't feel as connected to it. And so I just said, nah, this is my story, man. This is my life. People are going to see my kids grow up. They're going to, and I think that's what draws people in. Because if I said, yo, I'm filming 10,000 dreams in like 3 years, everyone would go, oh, that's sick, cool, impressive. But saying you're doing it for 10,000 days, it kind of, it makes it ridiculous almost.
Yeah, definitely, man. But you also get drawn into other people's stories, but you also get behind the hustle, you know, of the dude behind it. And that's also the same for me. I was behind closed doors for the first 9 years. It's not until recently where I've actually started to reveal, because people used to think we were this like corporate American company, big company, this and that, because of the, you know, the brand was polished and the way it was portrayed. And as soon as I started kind of stepping out from behind the curtains and being like, yo, it's just me. I started in my bedroom. I'm just a normal dude like you and this, like just you and me, we're just exactly the same. Like, here's my story. I've had fuck ups, I've had this, I do this, you know, I try to reveal, not everything, but you know, most of my failures and my learnings and lessons, and people like that, man. They resonate with that, and then they get behind the person, but it's behind the movement, you know. Bro. And then if you can get the two, you know, if they can get behind both the movement of what you're creating and you as a person and your individual journey, it's awesome. Because I think what you're probably going to find is like meeting all these people and all these opportunities and these dinners and these parties, is it's probably going to morph into something else. And your dream will probably become bigger, you know, and you'll probably figure out, it's like 10,000 is awesome. How can you do this at 1 million? How can you do this at scale? How can you do something that's like going to freak you out? But then when you get to the finish line, when you're 50 years old, you'll be like, man, I wish I dreamed even bigger, you know?
I know, man.
It's
scary to think that one day I'm actually going to get to 10,000.
Yeah, and you'll probably you'll look back at the 10,000, you'll think like, man, that was small.
Yeah,
like, and that's no disrespect.
No,
what you're doing is incredible, but that's also the power of growth and also setting goals as well that draw you in. Because I think that, like I was listening, have you heard of Jordan Peterson?
Yeah.
12 Rules of Life. I was listening to one of his podcasts, and he was just saying the importance of a goal, the importance of an aim. And he said if you don't have, he said an aim and a goal extrapolates a lot of positive emotions out of you. And if you don't have a goal, it also extrapolates a lot of emotions out of you, but by negative. It's because you don't have an aim, you're aimless. And the thing is when you're aimless, you don't have a purpose. And when you don't have a purpose, you're unfulfilled. When you're unfulfilled, you're unhappy.
Yeah.
And that's why it's so important to have that goal, that target that you want to hit. And it's so important that as you get closer to it, you start raising the bar and making it bigger. The analogy I always use, even with our staff, about goals is almost like playing a sports game with no scoreboard and no sets of goals, and people just running around. There's no clock, there's nothing.
I literally used that example last night meeting with someone.
Yeah, absolutely, man. But it's so true, right?
Yeah.
So that's why, yeah, man, just goals and dreams are just massive. But what do you think the difference is between a fantasy and a dream?
Ooh. Man, I guess so I did Chris Hadfield, the astronaut's dream. And what he talked about in his dream was that everyone should have a moonshot dream.
Yeah.
And to him, a moonshot dream is impossible.
Yeah.
His dream was to walk on the moon.
Yeah.
And obviously he went to space and everything, but he never walked on the moon. He knew it would be impossible for him to do. But having that impossible something to chase pushed him forward. So I think it's important. I think it's so important to have this idea of this fantasy world you'd live in the future that's just like, will never happen.
Yeah.
A world where every person chases their dream.
Yeah.
It probably won't happen.
Yeah.
But wouldn't that be unbelievable?
Definitely.
And that's what all my dreams are fighting for.
Yeah.
Even though that probably won't happen in my lifetime at least,
Yeah, for sure.
So I think,
But it's definitely gonna, in the process of getting there, you're gonna make an impact.
Yeah.
And if you didn't have that moonshot dream, you wouldn't have the impact that you do.
Yeah.
You would,
Like, because if your dream is, if mine, like it was, just to win an Oscar.
Yeah.
Cool. I win an Oscar at 23, let's say it'll win to plan.
Yeah.
Then what?
Yeah.
I'd probably be miserable because I'd be like, oh, this sucks.
Yeah, man. You'd be complacent.
I thought this would make me happy winning an Oscar, and it didn't.
For sure.
So now, my dream of filming 1 billion dreams probably won't happen in my lifetime.
Yeah.
It won't. 1 billion dreams probably won't happen in my lifetime. But it gets me excited that it could happen in 200 years.
Absolutely, bro.
Because of something that started as a bet with a mate.
Absolutely. And I know you're Christian, right?
Yeah, bro.
Is that saying that God's delays aren't God's denials? And it kind of ties into that whole patience thing as well. And the thing is, it's like if you do have that big moonshot thinking dream, sometimes you think it's impossible, man, but sometimes it may not happen quickly, or it may not happen, you might get denied quite a few times, but you may get there as well. You might just surprise yourself, eh?
Heck yeah, bro.
Yeah. So, but do you have any questions for me or anything, bro? Sometimes I feel like I'm blabbering on.
No,
just to switch conversation up.
I love what you do, man.
Yeah.
I seriously love what you do. What was those early days in your bedroom like, man? That's the part I'm most fascinated with anyone's dream, is the early days.
The early days. So I used to be up. I used to come home exhausted because I was a manager of a blank t-shirt company.
Yeah.
In the warehouse. So I was in the warehouse sweeping floors and stuff. And then I'd come home and I'd be exhausted, collapse on the floor, and I'd have this little daughter that just fully wants your attention.
Yeah.
Got to bath her, have dinner, have a little power nap, and then I'm straight into work. But the early days were exciting because you're fueled off dreams, man. You're just constantly dreaming, and it's like while you're doing, like in my case, I was drawing because I was originally an artist. And I put the drawings onto t-shirts, so I'd just be drawing away. And when you do something creative like that, in your case, it'd be editing or speaking to someone, you just get in this zone where time disappears, and it's almost like you're not even conscious. You're just you're just doing stuff. Time disappears. So I'd thrive off that, man. And then I always got to a point where I had to take things to the next level. So even now, it's like, and that's why I like resting on your laurels and being complacent. Like, complacency kills. When I got in trouble in 2016, 17, it's because we made a ton of money. We went from $0 to $10 million in 6 years, and I thought I was the bee's knees. I got complacent, and then as soon as you get complacent with a company of that scale, which wasn't built solid, it was built a little bit rocky. It was built on sand. Things
and the mistakes and the sloppiness and the lack of detail, all those small mistakes start to compound and start to change things. And pretty quickly as that rug got swept from underneath my feet, and that kind of shocked me. But I think I guess my point is like the early days were, it was like an exciting hustle, and I got addicted to the hustle, the excitement of the unknown. I got used to people saying no and rejected, much like in your case. Bro. Like I'd email 150 stores if they want to stock the product, and all that I'd get 2 people replying, and then I'd reply, but they couldn't pay, they wanted terms and this and that. So it was like constant rejection. But the thing is like, you almost need to gamify it, turn it into a game. I had a conversation with my daughter the other day, and we were talking about life and this and that, and I can't remember the question she asked me exactly, but my answer was like, life is great because you can make it however you want. You can gamify the whole thing. And she's like, that's childlike. And I was like, well, yeah, I know it is. That's the cool thing. And I think it's real important that as you grow older is to not take life and not take yourself too seriously, and still enjoy the process, have fun. You're gonna encounter a shit ton of adversity, and you're gonna get to points where you're confused. You yourself, you're gonna get to a point in the next couple years where you're like gonna really question this whole thing. Yeah, like that's like we both know that, Yeah. And it's like you need to almost anticipate that, and you need to anticipate how you're gonna deal with that. And I think that, but at the same time, don't let it strip away the passion and your desire and your willingness to actually chase this dream, because that's the most important thing, and that's the most important thing to focus on is the goal. And it's like, all these bumps in the roads, all these bumps and bruises and all this and that, like that's just part of it, man. Like, you interviewed Richie McCaw and all these amazing people, and none of them it was never a straight line. And it was like a bumpy road, it was a roller coaster, and it's just making sure that you just like hold on to that, know that, remind yourself of that, take care of yourself, double down on yourself, constantly learn, and at the same time, it's like keep pushing it as well. It's like you might want to, you might get even to the point where it's like, okay, 10,000 days, 10,000 dreams. It's like, how can I do this with scale? Maybe I need to get other people involved so we can actually do this without burning yourself out, because you're going to have probably a family one day, a little kid someday, and that changes the game as well. All of a sudden it's like, okay, I've got a new meaning of life, and now I've got to like raise this little human being in this mind to make the world even better, So it's I don't know if that kind of answers the question, but yeah.
No, I love that. I always say I've always said since I was younger, whenever crap happens, I'm like, this would just make my autobiography way better to read.
Another chapter in the book, man. Yeah,
no one wants to read an autobiography that's like, yep. It's so boring.
Definitely, man. If you read the autobiographies, everyone's got a similar story, man. Yeah. And then the ones that kind of don't, I don't know, like people give like, dudes like, I don't want to get into it, but Donald Trump, like his dad gave him heaps of money and opportunity and this and that. But it's like, yeah, he did, but still everything's proportionate, right?
Yeah.
It's like his dad probably gave him a bunch of money or inherited it, but he still made that little pool of money into something gigantic. And he didn't have to do what he's doing now. I don't know how we're getting into this dude, but you know what I mean? Like everything's proportionate, and it's like my problems may seem completely insignificant to somebody else. They may have had a completely different trajectory in their life. They may have been raised in a broken family, don't know their mother. They may have been raped. They may have been addicted to drugs. They may have being broke, And then they hear our stories and they're like, man, these white boys have got it easy. They've just got these cool dreams and businesses, and so it's like it's all
I read a quote
different from
recently
everybody
that talked about how every single person is living someone else's dream.
Yeah.
And that hit me like real hard,
Yeah.
Like in my head, I'm not living my dream at all. I'm not close to it.
Yeah.
But then you meet with young filmmakers that are like 18 and they're like, dude, wow.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, whoa, okay. You think what I'm doing is like, and it's like real weird, you know?
Interesting. So what advice would you give to a 18-year-old you, knowing what you know now?
Start 10,000 Dreams right now.
Yeah. Start 10,000 when you were 18?
I would do anything to have started when I was like 12 years old.
And why is that?
Because it would have been so cool growing up as like a kid through school doing this. Filming my mates at school.
Yeah.
Like a huge part of it that I absolutely love is that I now have all this document of my friends growing up.
Yeah.
that I can show my kids one day.
That's
you
cool.
know,
That's super
because you
cool.
lose touch with half of them.
Yeah, man.
And you tell your kids about people, and they only have this image in their head. But I can go, this is what he was like, and here's a minute of him talking.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so you know.
Yeah.
Dude, if I was 18 again, man, like I chased my dream once I left uni at 19. So I got in at 16. I chased my dream hard, but I could have chased it way harder, bro.
Yeah.
I should have done way more free stuff just to build connections. I should have tried getting more mentors in the film industry. Only like a year ago did I start getting mentors in the film industry. Like,
wow. So would you tell someone that's 18 years old, and would you just tell them it's just like, man, just start, who cares what you look like?
Dude, like if I was like 18 and wanting to be in fashion in Auckland, I'd come to you guys and go, I'm working for free for a year. I will make coffee
all the time.
I will do the crappiest jobs, and I would just do whatever it takes.
Yeah, man.
100%.
Yeah, no doubt you're getting everything paid for from mum and dad. So just do it.
But so many people go in going, hey, I want to work with you, but here's my salary. You know, it's
for
like,
sure.
Okay.
Well, it's like Devin, bro. Like, you know, I reckon I saw his talent, or me and Will saw his talent, and we brought him in, and, you know, he's compared to probably what he could earn if he was to go off by himself, like he's taking a step backwards there to learn and educate. And you know, I think it's super cool, man, and brave. And I think that a lot of people need to be like that. You know, they're so concerned with like, what's the salary, what's the hourly rate?
Bro.
Man, 18 years old, man, I'm 34 years old, and I honestly feel young. I feel like I'm in my 30s. There's still going to be a lot of learning. Like, I've got financial goals, and I'm driven, like that is one of my drives, because I want to basically, for me, obviously I said my dream yesterday, but for me, you know, I've got a whole bunch of little things as well. I just want to get the financial burden in my life out of the way by the time I'm 40 years old, so I can focus on bigger and better things. And then I can show and teach other people to do it, and also be an example. Like my report card when I was a student looked disgusting. Like, you know, if people saw that, they would have destined me to be an absolute failure.
Right.
But the thing is like your report card and what people say, other people, what they say to you isn't who you are. You know, anyone's got the ability to do whatever the hell they want. But I think I think like the financial side of it is, so many people are burdened by it, and it's just like figuring out ways where you can break free of it so you can do better and more meaningful work. And that's something I really want to do as well. But even on that note, bro, like, how are you kind of keeping yourself afloat? And because obviously, like, the traveling and stuff and requires a bit of funding.
So I run a film company, so that's kind of been covering this, and it's not always been easy, man. There's been lots of times where I've had to fly down to Wellington on my own money for like 5 minutes. You know, like I've done a lot of long distance trips, driving 4 hours for 30 seconds of filming. But next year there's a few opportunities that I can't quite go into. But it looks like this could be my full time next year.
Awesome, man.
And it's getting to the point now where brands want to collaborate with me.
Nice.
You know, like we're starting to do some stuff with airlines. Like I'm doing a campaign with Fiji Airways in Fiji.
Awesome, bro.
You know, I'm going to Australia in January.
It's
slowly
you must have some people circling around, like trying to do deals. And
well, it's cool, man, because I guess it's something that, like I said before, anyone can answer. You could go to any country in the world and do this. It kind of fits into most business models because every business kind of ties around selling a dream.
Totally, bro.
So it's this great category that just fits with almost everything.
Absolutely, man. So it's almost like a common language of humanity, all humans, every race.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
So, and my kind of big goal with this is to turn it into a brand that makes films based on dreams, books based on dreams, you know, like board games on dreams. I want to create a genre of dreams. And that's what next year we're going to go hard at, man.
That's awesome, man. I'd love to, in some capacity, like, you know, get involved in, because that's also for us in I Love Ugly, like our whole goal is to inspire people to achieve their aspirations before it's too late, before it's over. Like that's the underpinning driving force of everything we do. We sell clothes as well. That's our currency. That's how we keep the lights on. But I think by, you know, having that dream and that mission, that can kind of branch into all sorts of avenues. So that's cool. In terms of, I know we'll wrap this up pretty quickly, bro. But what do you, in terms of personal development stuff, do you like read books, listen to podcasts, any stuff like that, or any particular, YouTube mentors what you have? Or?
Yeah, man. So I usually over summer I go hardcore into books.
Yeah.
I only read autobiographies.
Yeah.
I don't read novels or anything. But then during the year, you go, oh, I'll read, a book every 2 weeks, and you never do. It's only over the summer break that I read like 10 books in like 2 weeks and then stop for the year.
Yeah.
But my kind of thing, man, is for me, like I said, I wake up 4:30 every morning and I go for a 13K run.
Nice, man.
Every day. And that is my like mental space.
Wow.
That's
Are you doing it on a treadmill or outdoor?
Outdoor, always.
Wow.
Oh man,
It's phenomenal, bro.
Treadmill.
How long does that
So
take you?
boring. About 45, 50 minutes.
Yeah, this guy's a machine. Eh? What drugs are you on?
Yeah, bro. But I listen to music and I dream.
Yeah.
That's the time where I have my huge dreams and
Plus
I
the whole
imagine
world's
the
asleep.
future, bro. Oh, it's so nice. It's dark. There's no one out.
Nice.
And then like that to me is kind of my thing, bro.
Yeah.
I do masterclass. Got masterclass subscription, so I go hard into those.
Yeah.
I'm currently
What's masterclass?
Do you know the one that's online and you got like the classes with like Anna Wintour, like
yes.
all those ones. Yeah, I do that hardcore.
Oh, cool, man.
I'm currently doing Anna Wintour's one.
Yeah.
Like you, man. I'm fascinated by fashion and I love Vogue and everything.
Yeah.
But no, I try to listen to podcasts when I drive and everything. But I'm not crazy disciplined with that stuff, man.
Yeah,
like,
cool.
I just find like listening to music makes me dream.
Yeah, and
I listen to music that makes me dream.
Yeah, and your life is your teacher, just doing what your mission's your teacher.
Yeah, bro. Yeah. So.
No, that's cool, bro. It's refreshing, man. I think there's no set of rules on how to do it, and it's awesome to hear.
I see some people that are like, I read a book every week, and I'm just like, I have no
and you
idea
watch how much sleep do you get? So you go to bed you wake up 4:30.
Go to bed about 10.
Oh yeah, 10, so you're getting what, like 6 hours?
6 hours, yeah.
Yeah, you operate on that pretty good?
Kind of,
You must have one of it DNA.
You feel it at the end of the year.
Yeah.
But I have days where you go, nah, screw it, I'm going to sleep until 6 or something.
Yeah, man, for sure.
And then I wake up at 6 and feel terrible.
Yeah.
Damn it, I wish I woke up at 4:30. To me, it's just waking up early is just my thing.
Wasted time otherwise.
Whereas like 2:30 p.m. to 5:30 p.m., I'm like, nothing's going to happen productively.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm a morning guy. I'm like, go hard.
That's fantastic. And what about diet? You're pretty good with your diet, disciplined?
Gym 4 times a week.
Yeah.
Don't touch sugar.
Yeah.
I used to do like diets. But I find once you have a diet, you just constrict yourself. So I kind of like...
So what I mean probably by diet is what do you eat?
Yeah.
Yeah, what do you eat?
Man, I don't eat a heck of a lot, to be honest.
Yeah, so you don't eat sugar. Okay, what do you not eat then? What's your rules of not diet? What do you just not eat? Put in your mouth.
My kind of rule, my diet is if it doesn't look good, probably don't eat it.
Yeah.
That's like my thing. Like I can have some bad food. I'm addicted to cereal.
Yeah.
That's my...
Sheesh. Cereal, non-sugar?
Weet-Bix.
Weet-Bix says sugar.
Does it?
Yeah, bro.
Don't say that.
No,
don't
man.
Say I was told Weet-Bix. I was told they were healthy.
Yeah, because my kids, they were like hyped every time they had Weet-Bix. I was like, what the heck, man? Like, it's like they've had sugar. Looked in the ingredients, it's full of sugar. Yeah.
Damn it, man.
Man, I don't think they do a good job. Sanitarium or whoever it is does a great job of marketing it.
That is all
no sugar. It's all healthy, man. Yeah, always read the label.
Reflect on my life, man.
Sorry, bro. Yeah, so that's good, man. So I get it, man. You're clean, disciplined dude.
Try to.
Yeah, that's good. It's okay having Weet-Bix, man.
I think after a 13K run,
you probably need it, man. You probably need it. No, that's super cool, bro. Like real, just a cool conversation. You're an awesome dude, bro.
You too, man.
Yeah, it's awesome. I'm just real curious now to watch this. We're all talking about it. I know Devon's real into it. Looking forward to seeing Devon's dream. But yeah, bro, thanks for coming on the show. Do you have any other closing words or any questions or any statements or any last bits of advice for our audience?
As well.
Yeah, this is going to be our last podcast on the year, so it'll be like a bit of a wrap up, 2019. So, what would you? Okay, here's a good question to end the episode, bro.
Yeah, give me a question.
What advice would you give to people to kickstart 2020, or just something like really good to kind of ponder on in this new year period? Because I think the New Year's a real chance for people to rethink, to reflect, to recharge. Like, what advice would you give to someone just in this next kind of couple of weeks before they get into 2020, or, you know, just to just sustain themselves and actually like have a goal that they can hit or something like that? Just what advice would you give this person?
All right. I guess the go-to advice that most people would always say is work hard, dream big, da-da-da. And that's good. But I think the most important thing is discovering what your dream actually is. You know, so many people want to be, you know, sports stars or actors, or, you know, they want fame and money. So they go, okay, that's my dream. But that's not what they're born to do. So I think you got to discover what you're born to do.
How do you do that?
You know, I think it's trying things, you know, and I kind of always come back to this kitchen metaphor. If you put a pizza in the fridge and try to heat it, it's not going to heat. You know, not everyone's meant to be an oven. Not everyone, you know, we all have different gifts. And your gift might be something that won't make you famous or rich. And that might be what's holding you back, because you won't get that stuff. But you'll be so much more fulfilled doing what you were born to do. So take the time to find what you were born to do. And then once you find it, then go hard at it. Dream big, work hard. But make sure it's your dream. You know, a lot of people chase what their parents' dreams are, what their friends' dreams are.
I agree.
So you got to find what your dream is and be proud of that, and then go after it.
Bro, that's awesome, man. That's awesome advice, man. I love it, bro.
Thank you so much, man. Brother.
No worries,
bro.
That
was awesome, man.
Yeah, that was awesome. Yeah, yeah, that was cool, man.
Thank you everybody for listening. If you enjoyed this episode and found any type of value, please subscribe to our podcast, share with your friends, and give us a 5-star review on iTunes to be in the draw to win a $200 I Love Ugly gift voucher. We will be drawing a winner monthly. Good luck, and see you on the next episode.